Hello and welcome. I'm Pratap Singh. You're joining us on NewsX. The national capital was jolted by a 4.0 magnitude earthquake early this morning. According to the National Center for Seismology, the earthquake struck at 5:36 a.m. with its epicenter at Dhaula, Kuan. Originally, the depth of the earthquake was 5 kilometers. Meanwhile, several residents reported hearing a loud rumble. Two key characteristics that contributed to this could have been the shallow depth and also the quake's close proximity to densely populated areas. Now, experiencing earthquakes isn't uncommon in Delhi, but why so? The city is located within Seismic Zone 4, which is considered prone to earthquakes due to its proximity to the Himalayan collision zone. This is the collision zone of the Indian and Eurasian plates. The Indian plate is moving northward at a rate of 5 centimeters per year, pushing against the Eurasian plate, a process that continues to build stress along major fault lines. What's interesting is that this is the same tectonic activity that was responsible for the formation of the Himalayas. But that's not all. 3 fault lines also run underneath Delhi. These are the Sona fault line, the Mathura fault line and the Delhi-Moradabad fault line. Added is another factor, in situ material heterogeneity, that is variation in geological features. Meanwhile, the soft alluvial soil in the national capital region also amplifies seismic waves. Thus, the national capital lies in a high-risk area. So, is it time to upgrade infrastructure to make it quake-proof? Joining us live is Dr. O.P. Mishra, Director, National Center for Seismology, Ministry of Earth Sciences, Government of India. We also have Dr. Sushil Kumar, seismologist, live with us. Professor A.K. Sinha, geologist, also joins us live on the broadcast. Let me make a start with you first, Dr. O.P. Mishra. Okay, I think we've lost his connection, unfortunately. Dr. Sushil Kumar, let me come to you then on, of course, Delhi and what makes it so prone to earthquakes.
Yeah, you already said that so many fault lines are there, like you named them, like Delhi Hardwar Ridge Fault and Mahendragarh Dehradun Fault. Then there is Sohna Fault and Mathura Fault and Great Boundary Fault, which is basically a major structural feature extending from Rajasthan to Haryana into Haryana, and which influence the stresses around Delhi. And of course, we cannot omit the Himalayan seismic belt, and which is the collision of Indian and Eurasian plate. It's totally seismically active, and whatever faults are there and stress accumulated in that seismic belt, that is also transferring to these faults, which I named just now. So these are basically getting stress out of push stress from this collision of Indian and Eurasian plate. So these are the major basically cause of stress around Delhi, and these faults keep on creating such small magnitude earthquake, like 4 is a small magnitude earthquake around Delhi, and this seismic zone 4 can create the earthquake of magnitude 5 to 7 in this region. And to 2021, 23, we have seen that several, many small earthquakes triggered in around these faults.
Yes, Professor A.K. Sinha, Delhi, of course, has a lot of faults, which is why, of course, it's prone to these earthquakes. How can residents of Delhi guard against such earthquakes? Of course, they cannot be predicted, but protection can certainly be taken. What is that?
I'm sorry, I'm not getting you properly. May
Professor Sinha, can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm not getting you properly.
Okay, I'll try and ask my producers to check your connection once and come back to you. But let me get back in then Dr. Kumar. Dr. Kumar, what are precautions then that can be taken by residents of Delhi? Dr. Sushil? Dr. Sushil Kumar, are you there with us? I think unfortunately we're having a lot of trouble with our guests today on the broadcast. This is, of course, the big story we are continuing to track for you, where, of course, the Delhi earthquake has, of course, raised a lot of questions on, of course, now aftershocks and also what makes Delhi so prone to these quakes. I believe Dr. Sushil Kumar is back with us. Dr. Kumar, if you can hear me, I was trying to ask you on the protections that residents of Delhi can take, given the fact that they live in this highly sensitive zone.
Basically, the individual person, they can learn how basically if any earthquake will trigger. So how they can save themselves? Like if somebody is staying at a 36-story building, 36 at 36 place, uh, at 36 story. So what he should do and what the other people should do? If the people, all people will rush downside, if any shaking will happen and all the people start coming downside, so the things will be like a daily platform recently happened. So the best thing is during such shakings, they should, if they are not staying in the first or ground floor, so they should stay there itself in that particular house. They should not come or rush immediately on the stairs. However, the stairs they should not use at all, because in the such shakings, the stair may also get damaged, and not earthquakes. The stairs can basically kill them, and they cannot use the lift as well. So they have to be stay there, find out some wood structures or like that in their houses. They should be inside that, and some corners are already mentioned by the people who gives the mock drills. They should be under these such below the door shed, and there should not be any loose things like almirah, etc., which can fall down on the head.
Dr. Sushil
So
Kumar, yes, please complete.
yeah, they have to take care of this first. And if they are basically because if they will come down also, the so many surrounding buildings are also very high, and they cannot find out that open place. So this is the better suggestion, because I heard so many people, they were saying that they got panic and they start running on the stairs. So there should be some kind of teaching to them about the mock drill or something like that. Some of our senior scientists like Professor Harsh Gupta, they did such type of mock drills in Himachal, and they basically had very great work. And then in the school and in such agencies, they should basically concentrate on this also. And in the, I would say that I was the member of BIS, Bureau of Indian Standard, that they prepared the code for earthquake resistant designs. So the people now the buildings, those are already old and they are there, they should make them reinforced for such earthquakes. And the new buildings, they should keep the proper watch as well.
Yes, Dr. Sushil Kumar, also, do you believe aftershocks could happen? This was a pretty severe earthquake today.
Magnitude earthquake not produce, because after, what is aftershocks basically? That is settling. In such a small magnitude earthquake, I don't think that it's very small magnitude earthquakes can trigger like less than 1 magnitude. Not big earthquakes, because the big earthquake of magnitude 6.5 and 7 or the great earthquakes, they basically the unstable the so many places or things in the mountains or in the at the source, near the source. So they get later on adjusted, settled. That's why the aftershocks keep on coming. But in such earthquakes, I don't think that's a very high magnitude aftershocks will occur in such a small magnitude earthquake.
Yes, Dr. Sushil Kumar, also now, of course, as far as this north zone is concerned, which are the high risk cities in this north of India zone which is most prone to these earthquakes?
You're talking about the Himalaya.
Yes.
So if you're talking about the Himalaya, after if you enter the Himalaya, like from the frontal thrust, the main frontal thrust which is passed from the Mohan, and then the main boundary thrust which passed from Dehradun, and in further north, if you go to Uttarkashi and Chamoli, etc., the main central thrust passes. So the whole region from northwest to southeast, this seismically active, and Shillong side, this side, the Assam side, Bihar side, they have already suffered and had great earthquakes like more than magnitude 8, like 1934 Bihar Nepal earthquake, or you talk about the 1897 Bihar Nepal earthquakes again, and their magnitude was 8.7 or something more than 8. So these are also vulnerable, and the area between 1934 earthquake, Bihar Nepal earthquakes, and Kangra earthquakes of 1905. In between, so many studies are going on, and so many GPS experts, like they have claimed that there is basically the movement. They measure the ground movement, and they found that there is stress accumulation is there in that site, and this is vulnerable. between. They call it seismic gap. And further, 1905 also is 100 more than 100 years back, and this is also vulnerable. So I would like to say that the nobody can know in the world that nobody have predicted earthquakes, and no technique is there. Early warning people are working for that to save the some important structures. So I would say that the whole Dehradun and surrounding regions and below this Chamoli, Uttarkashi, and they are in zone 5, in north of that, and the south of that we are in zone 4. So like in Delhi, we are in seismic zone 4. So the in seismic zone 4, the earthquake of magnitude 5 to 7 is always predicted that this kind of earthquakes can trigger, like Chamoli earthquakes and 1999 Uttarkashi earthquake. So such earthquakes can trigger 2001 in this such range of moderate earthquakes. So here in Delhi also, like in 2021 and 23, so several like small magnitude earthquakes triggered around these faults which I named.
Okay, okay. Let me get in Dr. O.P. Mishra. I believe he's also joined the broadcast now. Dr. O.P. Mishra, if you can hear me, what do you make, of course, of, yet another quake for Delhi? What makes Delhi so sensitive for such earthquakes happening with so much frequency? Why is Delhi in such a high seismic zone?
First of all, I would like to thank you for inviting me. Here, there is no role of any fault in triggering the earthquake today morning. Okay, any fault, Suana fault, Mathura fault, all are the far away. This earthquake occurred within the distribution of so many lineaments, that means weak zone, and it was the structural property that was the conflict and heterogeneity that caused the actually brittle failure by hydrofracturing. And the Delhi actually, if you see the geological conditions and geomorphological situations, then there is a lot of the paleo river channels. There is a lot of the lacustrine and riverine deposits. And these are actually the materials that corroding the rocks due to geochemical processes and diminishing the strength of the rock. And that's why such type of the silo earthquake 5 kilometer at the depth is occurred because of the in situ material heterogeneity of the source rock that was the ruptures today morning. And it is a 5 kilometer depth. So the seismic noise is coming to the surface. There is the reverberation, so there is the rumbling sound with the surface with the air after the reverberation of the silo materials. So that creates a panic. So 4 magnitude earthquake, 4 intensity at silo depth is due to the in situ property heterogeneity. However, the faults were there, but this has no role of the triggering that. Now come to the point. If you see the history of seismogenesis, almost all earthquake varying from 1.8 to 4.6 in the Delhi region, and 4.6 earthquake occurred just 6 kilometers away from the today's earthquake, that is in the 25th November 2007, at the magnitude 4.6. But the beauty is that the depth was 10 kilometers of that earthquake 2007. That's why there was no hue and cry, because there is no perceptible or intense shaking as is equal to comparison to this shaking. So this shaking, that's why actually 4.6. So Delhi is seismogenic because of its geotectonic settings, its lot of the subsurface material heterogeneity. There is no any bigger source zone that can generate the earthquake more than the sixth earthquake. Even the sixth earthquake, in order to generate, it takes a lot of the source dimension, that is 100 kilometer length and about 20 to 30 kilometer width of the source fault zone. That is not available in Delhi. So Delhi is safer for not creating the bigger earthquake of magnitude 6 in according to the all scientific theory. Seismogenesis is, of course, the Himalayan earthquake can affect the Delhi because there is a lot of the connecting fault from Himalayan to Delhi. There is a lot of the Hardwar ridge and all these things. And if any earthquake occurred in the main central thrust in Himalaya in Uttarakhand, then 66 minutes take the shaking. Even the Afghanistan earthquake of magnitude 8.1 of the greater depth 200 kilometer has also also jolted Delhi in the past. So seismogenesis is the features because of its subsurface behavior. Yeah.
Okay, let me in fact also ask you then, Dr. O.P. Mishra, should we be prepared in Delhi for further aftershocks?
Actually, this earthquake, any earthquake occurred as a main shock, we have a close eye of 24 hours for a first biggest aftershock. Okay. But here the situation is that this is valid for tectonic earthquake. Suddenly, after the main shock, there is series of the aftershock started to take place. Okay. But here it is, I told you that hydrofracturing, most of the energy is being consumed to break the host rock of the at the 5-kilometer depth. So even if there is no aftershock, that means the entire accumulated seismic stress energy is being released at the time of the main shock itself. So this is the usual can happen, and it is further also justifying that this is the normal fault of 5-kilometer depth. A normal fault is very much supported by the hydrofracturing. So this is the one aspect. So aftershock till today, till now, we have not recorded, but I is up to 24 hours. If the building of a stress taking place, if sufficient energy comes and break the shearing and bearing strength of the surrounding rock, you can get the aftershock. Or
Dr.
maybe the
Mishra, it
healing.
wasn't a very high magnitude earthquake, but yet it felt like one. The shock was very severe. People ran out of their homes. There was a loud rumble sound as well. What explains that? Was it because the shallow depth, or because the epicenter was the middle of Delhi? What was the reason for this?
Actually, the first of all, the risk is dictated by three factors. One is magnitude. So 4 magnitude is not a disastrous magnitude. So it is the moderate, right? But its depth is 5 kilometers. That is causing lot of the severe shaking. So shallow depth, even the lower magnitude, moderate magnitude has jolted the area. And it was rumbling sound because I told you that shallow seismic wave, that is the subtropical noise. It was when the seismic wave comes from 5 kilometers to the surface, few hundred meters left, then it was the rumbling sound because of there is an interaction between the pebbles and the rock materials, and it was now coincided with the air, and then the seismic wave converted to a subtropical sound noise. So this is the quite natural in the many shallow earthquakes. Even in you go to the Pandhana and or Maharashtrian area where there is the quarry blast is there and some earthquake is occurring in shallow depth, all are associated with the rumbling sound. So it is the shallow depth rumbling sound because of the seismological processes. It was not die out completely because the 5 kilometers to the surface, few hundred meters left, then sound comes. The people come out. The timing of the earthquake is the very early in the morning. So it was quite calm in time in that time. So the people have jolted with they just come up awake due to jolt of the earthquake. So shallow earthquake, intensity 4, perceptible earthquake is the main cause of the jolting. If this is the 2007 earthquake, 10 kilometer 4.6 earthquake, it not created any havoc in the Delhi Heights, right? In the same zone, 6 kilometer away from Jheel Park of the Dhaula Kuan. It was just 6 kilometer away, but nobody had noticed that because it was 10 kilometer. Most of the energy dissipated, attenuated, and diffracted, scattered. So some energy left which has no power of the or left energy for rumbling sound to the people. Okay. So this is actually the explanation, scientific explanation.
Yes. Dr. O.P. Mishra, what precautions can be taken by citizens of Delhi given the fact that we live in this high seismic zone? We can't predict earthquakes, but we can certainly take precautions, can't we?
Yeah, but you see, the Delhi faced a lot of the earthquake. If you take the perceptible earthquake in the Chamoli earthquake in 1991, even the Delhi has been shaken. 1999 Chamoli, that is Chamoli also, Uttarkasi also. Most recently in 2015, when 7.9 earthquake of the Nepal earthquake happened, the Delhi felt the shaking. Most of the part of the border area felt the shaking. So you can see that the structures of the Delhi was not damaged. That means those structures who were resilient to the past earthquake, proving that their structures withstand the earthquake shaking of the Himalayan belt. And also these earthquake series of the earthquake occurring in the Delhi region, Delhi NCR region, none of the building raised to the ground. That means whatever the structure they made, they can at least the resilient to the occurrences of the seismic wave generated by the micro to moderate earthquake. Today, what happens? It was very good, well-built structures in Dhaula Kuan. Metro is there, many buildings are there, and none of the buildings showed any cracks, any fractures. No damages happened. So we can safely comment that the structure today in around of Dhaula Kuan is risk resilient, rather risk proof for the magnitude 4 occurring at depth of 5 with intensity 4. So precautions of the their height is now taking place. They are constructing their structure, taking the care that what type of the foundation there. Of course, foundation is becoming very important to attenuate the maximum seismic energy, so that more energy would not pass through the building, and shaking frequency should not match to the spectral frequency of the structure, no resonance, or there is no frequency above the structural frequency. Frequency of the earthquake must be lesser than that.
Okay.
And whatever the older structures there.
My thanks to all of our guests for joining us. We've run totally out of time. Let's leave it at that.